Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we delivered our report to Lucia about Licinia and the other Garlean civilians that we ran into, and some of those issues and concerns that became apparent. And in the debrief, we also figured out that it is the radios that have allowed some of the Garleans to remain untempered. The radios possess the same or similar etheric qualities to the warding scales that we have. So that's interesting. There's some logic to that, but we won't go too far into that. So, at the end of that meeting, we found out that someone had been caught trying to steal supplies from the camp. Turns out to be a soldier from the First Legion who's untempered. And in that discussion, an agreement to send some envoys to the First Legion, or at least those that remain untempered, was made. And so we ended up following Euless, along with Alphino and Alice, to their headquarters here in a subway station, it would seem. There definitely are some Fallout vibes going on here. So we need to meet their commander and have a chat about why we're here, what we're trying to do, and all of that. And see if we can make this particular situation go better than the last. So, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? Oh, there's their commander. There's Euless. There's Alphino and Alice. Let's see if they have anything to say. Alice? He certainly looks the part. Okay. Alphino. Now comes the true test. Not much there. All right. Let's go.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Van Kina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
So just because you were treated poorly, therefore justifies you crapping on everyone else.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat.
If establishing peaceful relations and you stop conquering people is the reward, then yeah.
And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not?
Well, there is that. Well, there's also the fact that every nation and people you conquer, you call them savages, and you oppress and crush them. And so it's natural that those people would want to fight back against that. Right? Because the Garland Empire does not offer peace and prosperity. It offers a boot and chains to those that come under its purview.
Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter.
And here we go.
You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock.
Shock collars.
Stop. Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if she allowed herself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If she refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
Not that it's going to be a problem, but our reaction to that would be, if you activate the restraints, everybody dies. You know, that's the gut reaction anyway. I've torn my way through more than one Garlean installation.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Yeah, but that won't be a problem.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Because we are offering a hand of friendship. Because even the most bitter adversary may one day see reason.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not impossible that two nations that were at one point the bitterest of enemies to eventually become friends and allies. This takes a lot of work. And it takes a lot of work by people who have the hardest time in making that peace. And the people who are actively involved in the conflict have to be the ones to end it. Which is not simple or easy. Alright, Alpha Note. Will take more than a trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these collars are a minor inconvenience. Yeah, as I said, it's not going to be a real problem, but, you know, if you make it a problem, you know, we won't start anything, but we'll end it if I have to. Right? I had to remind myself not to touch it. Even if it starts to itch, I'd rather not set it off by accident. Anyway, enough about that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. Alright, I think we probably have to talk to Euless before we can talk to anybody else. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean, or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision? Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If we catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation, and above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Eorzea will pay the price. Alright then. Anything else, Dad? Hear what I said. Don't make me repeat myself. Okay. No. Is this say so? You came with Euless, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. That's one of the things I was wondering. Garleans can't channel ether, so what good are aetherites to them? But perhaps they have similar aetherites to what the Sharlayans just developed, which is point-to-point teleport. Amongst paired aetherites. Even if you can't channel ether yourself. These days, however, we use the aetherite's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Alright, and that's why we can't, you know, do anything with that. Alright, Octavia. It's you, Ayami Atsurugi. Yes, it's me. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. Oh, really? You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. Yes? Maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down, but it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. Well, maybe Gaius Van Balsar, you know, should have been trying to, you know, unleash a weapon of mass destruction on Eorzea, and we wouldn't have had to blast our way through the Praetorium to stop it. You know, just saying. And don't even pretend that if the shoe were on the other foot, that your friends and comrades would have done the same. So, there's that. Alright. Sabinianus. So cold. This young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. Marcellinus? I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? Oh, not really. I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Ugh. Damn, tore the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus' life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell, and we gathered around the radio, then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy, mind intact but body broken, a soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. You could try. And I would have to do what I've done all along, which is defend myself and others. Alright. Magitech radio. This radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's Spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. Probably. Alright, Alphino? Did you learn anything of note? Your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. Yes, and it's going to take a lot to deal with the bad blood. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Alright, we'll see what we can do. Yeah. These guys are in no position to be any threat to, well, anyone. Assist Flavius. Flavius? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Thank you, the numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve that way. Alice? So cold, and probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we brought some food with us, but perhaps I could use a little magic to... No, I mustn't. God, this is so frustrating. Well, we're making an offer. It's kind of up to them to accept it. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies? Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Euless could persuade him? Though we'd need to persuade Euless first. Well, let's, again, make the offer. Euless? Well, seen enough? Euless, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept, some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is a greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees, or some of the afflicted, or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold out a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume? Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or, in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Telophoroi. Ban Daniel. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We identified the seat of the enemy's power, where we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion, saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for a combined assault on the Telophoroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then, we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. Yeah, they're just gonna find bodies. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? Nope. No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Alright, well, see what we can do. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once you're outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Alright then. Alice? Without our healing magics, there's little we can do for these people beyond to offer words of encouragement, but this way we'll be able to offer them tangible assistance. And Alphino? Although this is hardly the solution we had in mind, it will have to suffice for the time being. Alright. We'll begin our search for ceruleum in Reggio Urbanissima. The first location is Forum Solius, a park to the northwest of this station. You'll remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. Alright. Let's go see what we can find. Alright, here we are. I hear an ether grunt. Alphino, I think this macabre graveyard for War Machina was once a park. Euless, this is the place. Alright. So, this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. This park was named after the founding father of the Empire, the great Solus Zos Galvus. We've met. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the Machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided once more, or to try one more time, in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. Alright, let's get to digging. We have a shop counter over here. Though rather small by Garland standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There's nothing inside resembling Magitech or any other devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. Let's just grab this real quick. Alright, here's our map of the park. We're up here. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Forum Soleus. The pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. Some wreckage here. Anything left? A cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of ceruleum, as Eula said. Oh, I say? This, whatever it is, appears to have some sort of symbolic meaning relating to this park. Even though the place is named after Solus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain? Or somewhere the man himself used to sit? Not that it would matter, even if we knew. But I can't help wondering. Yeah, it's a rock. In a cage. A slide. The contraption is built in a style of Imperial War Machina armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configurations. But on closer inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Alright, Euless. Oh, it's you. Any luck? Nope. There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes. I mean, no, It's just I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed here... I would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done, every time. And every time when we get home, Mother would scold us, saying we catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a ceruleum-powered heater, by chance? I suppose it must have been. When I think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath a hatch. That was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Ulyss, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Guardian would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign Signiferi and Medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now. Alphino, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of her fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So fancy a dip? Step aside while I drink the pond dry. That way we'll find it in no time. I'm gonna be a little goofy. Step aside while I drink the pond dry. That may be the stupidest thing I've heard in a while, and that's saying something considering who my brother is. I can't fault your enthusiasm, though. Let's do it my way first, and if that doesn't work, perhaps then you can try your method with Alphino's help. I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little. Alright, let's see what we can find here. You delve into the murky water but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind on your damp clothing chills you to the bone. Ew. It's no big deal. You delve into the murky water but come up empty-handed. Get chilled to the bone again. And nothing there either, so this is where we're going to be. Beneath the water, your fingers catch on what you think might be a handle. You open the hatch and retrieve a ceruleum tank. However, your grand discovery comes at a great personal cost, as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and rancid odor emanating from every ilm of your body. Euless will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver him your prize. Well, it's for the cause, right? And really? We're gonna be level locked? Okay, well, I'll have to switch over to Machinist, I guess, to continue the rest of this. I'll have to push the Paladin up off screen. Alright. So be it. Did you find anything? I hope you did. Yep, we found a ceruleum tank. That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. Oh, the fire's not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alphino a hand. Call me an Uldan, because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now too. I appreciate recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes, you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Euless, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire, awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat, and sitting down for a hot meal with family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song, of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite, the ice would melt and the forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb to the top of the tallest building we could find and watch the sun rise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, and those memories. What if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had? Soon. Our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Alright, no good deed. What's next? Alright, now that you've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search, just outside the park. Now, I think I could probably actually switch back to Paladin for the time being. Alphino, the War Machina appears to be patrolling the area of its own volition. I wonder whether it's simply following its original orders or if it now serves the Telophoroi. Everything was built on an enormous scale and with thick, cleanly cut stone, much like Amaurot, Given what we know, such similarities are no coincidence. Yes. It was, Emmett trying to, build another simulacrum. This one physical. Alright, Euless. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. My comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units. Those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, the time being now. Rather than prize them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you to stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering, though, you should check the Machina's ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading, even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use the explosives or not. If you need more, come to me. Understood? Let's get to work. All right, let's see. According to the ceruleum gauge, this unit's fuel tank is empty. All right, well then there's no point in looking at that one. Destroyed Magitech. The ceruleum gauge on this unit appears to have been broken, giving you no way to determine how much fuel its tank may hold. I have 2. All right, let's just try it on this one. After successfully removing the War Machina's outer casing or treating the ceruleum tank, you find it to be completely empty. Okay. That was a no-go. There's one over here. The ceruleum gauge on this unit appears to have been broken, giving you no way to determine how much fuel its tank may hold. Let's leave this one alone for the moment, because there's a somewhat large search area. These really the only other 2 options, it looks like. I don't see anything else. Alright, let's check these. According to the ceruleum gauge, this unit's fuel tank is empty, then there's no point to that one. And what about this one? The ceruleum gauge on this unit appears to have been broken, giving you no way to determine how much fuel its tank may hold. Alright, so we got 2 with broken gauges. Alright, let's see what we got. You retrieve the War Machina's ceruleum tank to find it's still half full, or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Either way, Euless will surely be pleased by your discovery. Alright, got what we were looking for. Excellent. Alright, we found some. More explosives? Wait, is that what I think it is? Indeed. You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. This time we head back. Wait here while I go and see how Alice and Alphanor are faring. All right, then I'll wait here.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we?
Ah, Thancred.
Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance.
Figured.
We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything.
All right, we'll give him the rundown.
The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
All right, then. We keep playing along.
They had not gone far.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
Yep, funny that.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile.
Funny that.
It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
The armor?
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
Yeah, because your people are going to freeze to death.
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
Foolish.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
he's gonna do something stupid.
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Eula spoke?
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Eorzea are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
Alright, so you're taking hostages now.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
He knows this is the wrong call, but his hands are tied. Do as he says.
Get them out of here.
Everything is under control. All right. I think this is where we're going to end this particular episode. We'll head back to camp and deliver Quintus's ultimatum. May come back for next episode. All right. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.